welcome to episode 145 of the WaveBack Music Podcast. My name is Kris.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here to listen to the most interesting video game music there is. It's awards show time. Matt and I have donned our tuxedos to bring you the best of the best video game music we heard this year. New games, less than new games. As long as it was music we discovered this year, it qualifies. Who will take home the wins? The 2021 WaveBack Awards starts now. Well, hello there, Matt. You're looking rather dapper this evening.
I appreciate that, Kris. I have to say, we need to go to a new tux place because they gave me the same old tux, and I'm expanding, and I'm not happy about that. So, yeah. Thinking next year maybe spandex, perhaps.
Ooh, spandex with, like, tuxedo drawn on it.
I love it. Let's do it.
we should both wear our formal muumuus next year.
Listen, I'm not beneath wearing a muumuu or a dress. Anything that lets, things breathe, I'm okay with.
Yeah, well, I'm less into breathing down here right now. It's cold in my basement.
It's like hot cold.
I don't want a big, yeah, it is hot cold. It's currently 28 degrees outside. That is way more degrees than it was this morning when I took the kids to school.
Yeah.
12 degrees outside.
It is currently 23 where I am.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Good times.
Yep, loving it.
So we've got a fun show planned. It's our WaveBack Awards.
Yep.
It's so much less formal than it was just a few years ago, even.
Yeah.
This time it's just, hey, these are our awards for the songs we liked most this year. I actually did wind up finding 5 songs from games that came out this year for myself. I was very proud of myself. I almost went with an older one that I played for the first time. I was like, I want to see if I can do songs from 5 new games I played this year. Because I played a decent amount of new games, but not a lot of soundtracks really bowled me over last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I found there were some really good songs, obviously, but I don't remember any specific soundtracks being like just grabbing me and shaking me and be like, no, this is the stuff right here. This is amazing. And that didn't really happen. What about you? You gave me your list.
Oh no.
Some of the games I'm not familiar with. Did any of these come out this year? I honestly don't know some of them.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
No. All right, but they are all modern. Right? I don't see any retro games.
I want to say they're all within the last 2 years, maybe.
All right,
maybe.
All right. Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
They're all new to me. I mean, let's be honest here. We're all adults, right? When it comes to gaming, for me, as a full-grown adult as a full-grown child who pretends to be an adult, I don't get a lot of time to game, and bills. So I don't have tons of money to play, like, brand spanking new stuff. I also don't have the drive, per se. Like, nothing grabs me that, like, oh, the new such and such, and I'm like, meh. So, a lot of what I end up playing is, like, what's on Game Pass, and, the cheaper stuff, because I don't have, I gotta pay rent. I like eating. See my tuxedo complaint at the beginning. So... a lot of my stuff is a couple years older. Maybe some of these games have been played before. The listeners are I played that like 3 years ago. Well, okay, cool. So, a lot of new stuff will pass me by, and I'll hear things. Someone says, oh, you really should check that out. And that's kind of where I'll say, okay, if I'm being told by 2, 3, 4 people or one very specific person, then I'll hunt it out and play it. But for the most part, I just pick stuff up when I see it, and if it looks pretty cool, and there you have it.
Nice. Yeah, I have to play a lot of new games, like, for my job, but also, I like old games too. I like discovering new old games. I almost actually threw a song in here from the original N64 Mario Party, which I played for real the first time last year.
That's great.
It's a good tune, but no, I decided just to stick with the shiny new stuff. So
different direction.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of directions, let's move forward.
Hey now.
into our WaveBack Awards. So the first, I'm going to go first,
Yep.
and Matt will close us out. My first track comes from a game. I kind of put these in release order. So this is how they came out throughout the course of the year. And this first one came out last January, I think. It was a wonderful game. One of the best games I played all year. Did have a very good soundtrack, and this was the song that stuck out to me most. This game is called Cyber Shadow.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a super awesome Ninja Gaiden-inspired techno 8-bit thing. It's super awesome. The soundtrack was done by Enrique Martin. This song is called Geothermal Towers V1. It's from one of the earlier stages in the game. And it totally rules, so let's give it a listen. Here is my first WaveBack Award winner, Geothermal Towers from Cyber Shadow. Enjoy. Geothermal Towers. That is my kickoff for the episode. What'd you think?
I thought that was flipping amazing. I really enjoyed that. I was looking at some screenshots of the game while it was playing, just because I had a faint idea of what the game was looking like. And yeah, I was absolutely right. It reminds me, both the art direction of the game, as you said, is like a Ninja Gaiden inspired, like NES. But it also reminds me of the NES version of Strider, but has like the same color scheme of like the arcade version. But I loved like just that style of like cyberpunky, but I've got like a sword. But that song rather, really hit me in those like Strider feels. I thought it was great.
Yeah, Strider. That's a good pick. I really like this game. This was easily one of the best games I played this year. It was published by Yacht Club. Actually, helped them finish it off too. The team who was making it, they saw how cool it was. With like, all right, let's help you fix this up and really polish it to a spit shine. And they did a great job. It's a totally awesome game.
That's cool.
Great soundtrack. All right, Mr. Matt, what do you got for us next?
So my pick was a game that I introduced already on the shows in our winter special. I don't know. It was I'd said it before. It was a very kind of a sleeper game to me, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but I really, really did. And that game was Moonglow Bay. And as we found out, the composer was Lena Raine of Celeste fame and others, actually, as I later found out. This track is actually the track that plays when you go into their quote-unquote tech shop, and I don't know, to me it's very different from the game. Like, I love the soundtrack, but I wouldn't do an episode about it, or I wouldn't really bring a lot of attention, I wouldn't put tracks on the show, because a lot of them, like, it's a really chill game, and it's, like I said, it's a sleeper game, and it's really, like, low intensity, so a lot of the stuff is slow, down tempo. There's some nautical themes. Don't get me wrong, I love a good sea shanty, but I picked this one because I felt it was very non sequitur to the game, but made perfect sense within the game. Obviously, storyline wise, because you need a tech shop, because you have to get a sonar and blah blah blah. So, this one, again, the game itself stuck out to me. The soundtrack, beautifully done. So I'm just gonna stop babbling. This is called Go To Tech Haru Mix from Moonglow Bay. Enjoy.
That was delightful.
Yeah.
That was really nice. I very, very much enjoyed that, and I was very sad when it stopped.
I'm very sorry.
Just really hoping it was going to loop again. I was just sitting back, having a good time, and then it started fading. I was like, wait, no, don't go.
I just got into you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short, was it a minute and a half there? It's a short loop, but, like, it's delightful. It's like really the only word. One of the things I think that really impressed me about that game was the art direction. I love pixel art, but this was like voxel art. If you're not familiar, it's taking like pixels and then going kind of 3D with them. So imagine like Legos, but instead of like flat 2D, you kind of get that 3D isometric kinda. It's like fully 3D rendered because you can do a whole 360 around the character and, it's seamless and stuff. But I thought that was a very interesting approach to a game of this nature, of this, theme. And I think that's what drew me in first. And then, of course, the game, the mini games to do, cooking. Like, I joke about, like, games with fishing. I'm just like, oh, God. And then, of course, one of my favorite games of the year was a game that was entirely based on fishing. So I don't know. It must have done something right. Maybe it was the combination of art direction and fantastic soundtrack. Like, no pressure gaming. Like, I think almost all the games that are on Oh no, I take that back. I was gonna say I think all the games on my list you cannot die. Now I'm looking at my list. No, there's a lot of dying in this one game. So, but yeah, I guess to offset all my Apex Legends, PvP ranked gaming, I needed something as lighthearted as Moonglow Bay. So, yep, that's where I am.
Well, it certainly got some very pretty music. So
yes,
very much enjoyed that track. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this one's gonna be a pretty hard turn.
I'm all about it.
I'm very curious what you're going to make of this one. I don't think we've listened to this on the show before.
Nah.
This next track was from, this game was packed in with another game, and it was seriously a Game of the Year contender for me on all fronts because I absolutely loved it, and that is Bowser's Fury. This was packed in with Super Mario 3D World on the Switch, and not that 3D World needed a whole different game in there to be good, because 3D World is an outstanding game, but this new Bowser's Fury thing was so good. It was full 3D Mario, not like 3D World, more like Odyssey, and it was about you teamed up with Bowser Jr. because Bowser, something happened to him where he turns into Fury Bowser, which is this gigantic kaiju Bowser, which is one of the coolest designs ever.
That does sound cool.
Oh, it's amazing. And you get the Mega Cat Bell and basically turn into Kaiju Mario to fight gigantic Bowser, which is amazing. The whole thing is just this wonderful, tight little package of great puzzles, wonderful music. This one, I did have a hard time picking which song I wanted to go with because it's got a lot of music that I really like, but most of it is like your regular Mario fare, but the one I had to go with was the coolest one in the game, by far, which was the Bowser's Fury theme for his Phase 1 battles. And it is metal music by way of Mario. I absolutely love this song. It is so freaking good. But I'm very curious what your take is going to be on it, Matt. So here we go. Here is Bowser's Fury theme, Phase 1. Enjoy. I love that song. I love that stupid game so much, man. That's so invigorating when he shows up because he's so imposing. Because he's your tiny Mario and he's the size of buildings. It's like human versus Godzilla size, and it's so cool. I don't know, what'd you make of that one?
I laughed on the onset because that guitar slide was so unexpected. Like when you said it's metal by way of Mario, I was like, okay. And then I should have known they were going to use the tropes, all the tropes. There's guitar slide right into it, and then it just so unexpected, like so unexpected, like the growly, kind of death metal-y metalcore vocals. Someone claims that they've deciphered the vocals, and if any of them that are quote unquote deciphered are true, some of them are really funny. I'm looking at
I would love to figure out what they are.
I'm looking at a
Kinda
Reddit
like that
post.
King K. Rool Smash Brothers one. We were trying to figure out what he was saying.
Oh God! But the opening line of what this guy has, Broken Vessel Pikmin on Reddit claims, "I keep running into you. I'm coming at you. You can't defeat what you can't behold. You cannot see. You cannot inhabit your control. You're going to kill. We're going to come." And then, there's it, and it just loops. There's three, according to this, there's three stanzas. But that whole "I keep running into you" just cracks me up. If that's legitimately in the lyrics, that cracks me up. I keep running into you. What's going on? It just cracks me up. That was okay. So, all kidding aside, that was a really good metal song. It was very much in the vein of Dream Theater and Dragon Force and bands like that with the deep. Well, those bands don't have deep guttural vocals, but those deep guttural vocals come out of just throw a dart at a doom metal, black metal, Viking metal, a Monomarith, or oh my God, I can't think of anything. Behemoth, any of those bands. It just rings so many metal bells that it's impossible to ignore that song. And then for the rest of the day, I'm gonna walk around going dun 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 dun, those hard orchestra hits that they were using and stuff. That's just great. That was just
I love that bit and the chorus that comes in.
Yes,
because it adds to the scope. It's it could just be straight up angry metal music, but they also wanted to bring this cinematic flair of the epicness of fighting a gigantic monster. So and the chord progression there is so good. It's a really, really, really good and invigorating and effective chord progression there. It's so
it's such a stellar composition. You talk about understanding the assignment. You nailed that one, man.
Have you seen what Fury Bowser actually looks like? He's an amazing.
No, I spent too much time looking up lyrics. Let me see.
Just type in Fury Bowser. It's he's such a cool looking redesign.
Oh yes, I have seen this. Yeah,
man, this game is fun, and we still go back to it from time to time. I haven't played through the whole thing again, but I've just kind of run around in the world a bunch of times. John, my son John, was obsessed with this for ages. He still plays it and still listens to this music, and I tell you, there's nothing quite like listening to this music at 6:30 in the morning while he's eating breakfast.
He's like, I am gonna conquer the ish out of this day.
He's just chomping on his waffles, listening to this song.
It's going down.
Oh man, what a game! This was really.
I'm definitely gonna have to play this.
It's really short. It's wonderful, and in a good way. It's it's not you're. Oh no, this is over. I'm so sad. It's it does what it set out to do, and it's fighting Fury Bowser is a natural disaster. It happens throughout. So you have to do things in a certain amount of time, and every couple of minutes or so, Fury Bowser comes out, and then you have to either fight him or do something that makes him go away. Mm-hmm. And then you just have to keep adventuring until he comes out again, and it's
Nemesis.
So good. It is so good.
I'm looking at. Let's see, what holiday's coming up? Oh, Valentine's Day.
There you go.
Oh man.
Yeah, I tell you, if Metroid Dread didn't come out this year, this probably would have won my Game of the Year. I love it that much. It's so good.
Yeah, Metroid Dread.
All right, your turn, Sarah. You know what? No Metroid Dread from either of us.
Yeah.
And that was my only gripe with that game, is I really wanted to pick some music from that.
Yeah.
We just did the Emmy song, and even then, it was great for the Halloween episode, but I wouldn't say it was one of the best songs I heard of the year. no chance.
Yeah, nothing truly stuck out except for that Emmy song, but that's because the Emmy song's tied directly to gameplay and storyline bits. Yeah. I think, Metroid Dread was a great game. Soundtrack, maybe a little less than great. I don't know.
Yeah, none of the music was bad. It just wasn't special, and that was what I went back and listened to all the tracks. It's like, I really want to put something from Dread because it was my game of the year. And I re-listened to all the tracks. I'm like, these are fine, but nothing is special. Nothing is what we just listened to, you know?
Nothing is what we just listened to, trust me.
Man, can you imagine fighting Ravenbeak to that song?
Good lord, that would have been...
That would have been amazing.
I'd probably be just coming down off of that anxiety now. Like, holy cow, like, what the... I don't know.
All right, what's your next track?
My next track came from a game that I saw, I don't even know how many years ago, right? And I was like, I need to play this game. Its art direction's so cool, and it's just so striking and like just seems so interesting. Wow, its initial release was 2016. Wow. It's a game called Firewatch, and so I got all super giddy because they threw it on the Game Pass, right? And I was like, oh, finally I totally get to play this game. I cannot wait. And I forgot what I finished beforehand. Probably another game that's on this list of my picks. And once I jumped into it, like, I thought, wow, this is a beautiful game, right? And the thing that really got me about this game was it's a first-person game. You play a character, you play an older gentleman who, in the beginning of the game, there's text prompts that lead you to the game, and the text prompts are essentially how you met your wife in college, and a couple of cute little memories like, did you do this or do this? And then they play a little bit into the storyline, not heavily. And then, something happens to your wife, and it causes a big strain on your relationship. And so you're looking, as a character, you're looking for something to kind of distract you from things, and you end up becoming like a Firewatch guard at a national park. And so the game is essentially played first person, you're alone, and the only person you talk to is your female supervisor on a walkie-talkie. And she tells you, oh, we got fireworks, can you go check? We got a fire, can you go check? Make sure this thing... So it's like very mundane tasks, I suppose, but there's such an involving storyline that evolves out of just that I was so hooked. I couldn't believe how great this storyline was. And then to top it off, the soundtrack to it, I thought was fantastic. I had a really tough time picking something from this game. I think the reason why I went with this track is because it's a little more on the upbeat, or at least like more full, because like a lot of the tracks are just kind of like a twangy guitar, because I think it's supposed to be set in like the 70s or the 80s, or the 80s and the 90s. I can't quite remember. So it's like some twangy guitar, because you're out in the wilderness and stuff. It was just a really, really gripping game. And then like when it all comes to a head, like once you figure out what's going on, and you find all the clues to put the story together, like I as a audience member was just like, wow, holy cow, wow, what a story. Like you're led to believe one thing, and then this left turn comes. All right, anyway, let me shut up about this game. I seriously, I just had so much fun playing this game, and it's a game where like I said, you don't die. Like there's no opportunity for you to die. You know what I mean? Like you play, I'm sure
there's no fail state. It's just
thank you,
go until you're done.
Yeah,
that's great.
But the driving force, of course, is the story. And when you talk on your radio, you have an opportunity to choose one of three prompts, and then those prompts end up showing up later. If you played the game, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, It's still on Xbox Game Pass. It probably will take you, I don't know, 5 hours total to play, maybe even less. It's just worth, like, you know when you pick up a small comic book and it's like a one-shot and it's just a great story? That's what this is. And this is a game, storyline-wise, that's always going to stay with me. And the main character's voiced by Rich Sumner of Mad Men fame.
Okay then.
He's the guy with the glasses in...
I've never watched Mad Men.
Okay then.
But I'll take your word for it.
All right, anyway, I'm done, I swear, I promise. This song's called Exfiltration. There's actually a song called Infiltration, but this is Exfiltration, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did.
Wow. I liked that a lot. Liked that a lot.
Good.
I just, I mean, the instrument choices, very technological sounding.
Mm-hmm.
I assume this is like, it's Firewatch, and I'm seeing pictures of trees. I assume this isn't like super technological or anything, right?
No, so like I said, you're a Firewatch, essentially like an assistant to a park ranger, and again, it's set somewhere in the 80s, I think, or it's either like the mid to late 80s or the early 90s. The most tech you have is, in fact, your walkie-talkie.
I just added it to my Switch wish list. I've seen this game
play out. I swear you will not be disappointed in the storyline. I don't want to say anything, but all I'm gonna say is this song Exfiltration. It plays right at this pivotal moment when when the whole story comes together. Right?
Boy, it's rated M for nudity. Sorry.
No.
It started up as a suggestive themes, nudity, drug and alcohol reference, strong language, sign me up.
So early on, you come across some female skinny dippers, but you don't see them. They're in the distance and they're silhouetted, so you see the female form. So if that's offensive to anyone, you've been warned. But so the track, it plays right at this pivotal moment when the whole story just comes together. And I swear, like, prior to it, you discover something about like a thread in the tapestry that makes the story, and to me it was a gut punch, and I was like, wow, okay. And then once everything comes together, it's not even, it's a sucker punch right in the face, like right in the heart, excuse me. It's a heart punch. Like a Big John Stud heart punch. So good. Yeah. So it is kind of like low tech, you know, even the tech music, you know, like I said, like there's a lot of like twangy guitar and acoustic guitar and, you know, John Denver-y kind of stuff. There's a little tech and it's low and
oh my goodness, it takes place in Wyoming?
Yes.
Wow.
They talk about the big fire in Yellowstone that almost burned Yellowstone to the ground.
I have to send this to my brother-in-law. He's from Wyoming.
Oh, nice. I mean, it looks like, you know, the art direction's fairly generic in that it's a giant national park with walkways and trailways and, you know, stuff like that. So it's not going to be like, oh, I know that craggy outcrop there, you know what I mean? But it's, yeah, I just can't stress enough how, just storyline wise and like how sucked in, I was like grabbed by 3 hands and held to my chair, and I would play it and then go to work, and I'm sitting at work going, man, I wish I could be playing this right now. This storyline's getting so good. I need to know what's happening.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you want to get from a game.
And something so unassuming too. Something so like lo-fi in the realm of video games. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because like I say, one of my go-to games is Apex Legends, and it's, you know, 3-dimensional, full combat. You know, they're updating every other month, new characters, special abilities, new weapons, new modes, and then, you know, I play Firewatch, and I'm just like, holy cow. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and talk about all the great moments I've had in Apex Legends, you know, 1v3 squad wipes and stuff, all kinds of pulling wins out of my patootie, but this game, like, this is a game. Like, this is like that novel you pick up at the airport and you're like, holy cow. You know, I can't stop gushing about this game. Please shut me up.
It's one of the ones that sticks with you.
It really does.
Speaking of things that I can't shut up about, this next one comes from Blaster Master. I love Blaster Master. I think these new Blaster Master Zero games are fantastic, and Blaster Master Zero 3, man, if there was one song that affected me more than any other this entire year, it was this one. So the Zero games really did form into a trilogy, and the last one, the Zero 3, the final boss fight, which is the music we're going to listen to,
yes,
is absolutely amazing, especially for me, because the way they worked out the last boss fight of the game is you get to choose who you want to, which side of it you want to be on. You get to choose whether you're the new Jason character that exists for Blaster Master Zero series, or play as the original Sophia tank from the original Blaster Master, that's themed after the Japanese release Meta Fight. And the music, they've reprised almost no Blaster Master music for the Zero series. The original first stage, Area 1, they did a phenomenal remix of that for Stage 1 of for Area 1 in the original Blaster Master Zero, but then they haven't touched really any other Blaster Master music throughout the rest of the series, which has always been like sort of a sore spot, but the new music's really good. It's just not nearly as good as Naoki Kodaka's original stuff. But all the music is presented through a modern take on 8-bit music with that's got a very specific ear towards the later Sunsoft releases. They have a very specific bass sound in later Sunsoft NES releases, which is weird because the original Blaster Master was an early Sunsoft release, so it does not use that bass sound. Still, the soundtracks in the Zero games are very good, but this freaking song when this came up at the end of the game, not only was I just completely floored by the fact that I was choosing between which tank to go with, like, oh my god, what does this mean for the ending of the game? Also, the music is a mashup of the 2 different boss themes from the original NES Blaster Master. It takes those 2 different similar themes, puts them together into one cohesive, totally awesome final boss theme. An incredibly difficult and intense boss fight this was, and this music was perfect. I was just obsessed with this song this year. I love it so very much. I love Blaster Master so much. So here is my favorite song of the year. Not, nothing against the other songs I have left or anything else, but good lord, I love this tune. This is Sophia J1 versus Metal Attacker from Blaster Master 03. Enjoy. Oh my god, I lost my freaking mind when I first heard that song. God, I love that tune.
I gotta say that, like, it sounds funny to me to say what I'm about to say, considering we're talking about a modern game, but it has, like, all the earmarks of, like, early Nintendo. Like, that sweeping, you know, and, like, that chugging, like, thumping bass line and stuff. That is
And that's the stuff. That's directly from the NES game. Those 2 different songs both had that.
Yep.
Just that exact thumping bass drum and whatnot. And oh my god, the fact that they wove those 2 songs together out of nowhere, out of 3 games.
Yep.
Never hearing a song from Blaster Master again, and then all of a sudden to just yank this out, and the whole 3rd game was pulling in all this mythology from the original Japanese Meta Fight game, which was like completely blowing my mind the whole time we're playing it. And then just when I got to this last boss fight and this music kicked in, I lost it, man.
Yeah,
it's such a good boss tune.
Absolutely. I would probably lose my mind if, like, this thing just popped off as, like, a final boss. Like, I would even just be like, okay, wait, hang on. I just want to. I'm gonna survive just so I can hear the song.
I paused it. I paused it. I just stopped.
Oh wait, it plays while you pause. That's great.
I was the first time I got there, it just, because you get there, you're playing as your character, and then the whole story thing happens, and then this music kicks in and it gives you a choice. It's like, here's the Blaster Master Zero logo and here's the Meta Fight logo, and I'm like, what's going on? What is happening right now?
I
What
need
am I
an
supposed
adult.
what am I supposed to do? And I picked, and then the fight started, and it was super intense. It was really hard because this game's pretty hard. And like, I died a bunch of times, and like on the second or third try, I just stopped and listened. I was playing it, and John was right next to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's the original."
Boy, do you know what this is? And he's like, no, I'm 7.
He didn't know what it was. He looked at me, he was like, yeah, it is. I was like, yeah, dude.
You're doing it right, guy. You're doing it right.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Seriously, this was, I mean, just because not a lot of game music blew me away this last year, doesn't mean that there wasn't any. Obviously, there was some music that really blew me away this year.
Yeah.
But man, what a year for games. Like, I had such a good year in video games. Any year where I can say I got a new Blaster Master and a new Metroid. Like, talk about playing to my strengths exactly. But
know your audience.
Yeah, holy crow, man. That song just knocked me off my ass.
I was gonna say,
what a great tune.
I was gonna say, I'm glad I wasn't wearing socks and knocked them right off. Oh man.
Okay, your turn, sir.
So speaking of songs that play while you pause the game, this next game is another one that jumped up on the Game Pass for me, and I thought, I really like its art direction. This is actually a very pretty game. I'm going to check it out. And I played it, the first run of it, and I was completely enamored. The game is Hades, and I'm a huge Greek mythology fan. And this is Greek mythology. You play Zagreus, son of Hades. The goal is you're trying to escape Hades because the claim is the gods of Olympus want you up there with them. And so it's an isometric like hack and slash with a sort of RPG element to it. And every encounter or every room that you go into, because like you'll go into an encounter or a room, you'll clear it out, and then you get some kind of reward. And some of the rewards will be like boons from other gods like Ares, Aphrodite, Athena, and so on, Demeter and Bacchus, and so on and so on and so on. And they all, and you get a choice. They give you 3 of them, and you choose. Is it going to affect your regular attack, your heavy attack, your casting attack? Is it something that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, and so every game is different. And the best part about this game is that when you die and you go back to Hades and you start all over again, the storyline doesn't repeat. It keeps progressing, right? So the more you play and the more you die, the more storyline you get. And it's never repeating. It's like this storyline that like has to be completed in like 100 playthroughs, right? You get these you get bottles of ambrosia, which you give to these characters that help you to win their favor, and like, they give you more power-ups, they give you items that you can tack on when you're fighting, gives you extra money when you walk into a room, or when you die and you come back, you have more power. It's just so it's another game that like I loved its concept, because I love Dead Cells. I absolutely love Dead Cells, right? And it's something in the same vein, but I don't feel like there's a storyline progression. Like, you just die, you come back, and you're like, okay, mindless zombie, let's keep killing. This one, every time you come back, there's someone new hanging around kind of the Hades waiting area, if you will. And they always say something different. Like, if you got beat by the Minotaur deep in the game, right? You die and you come back and you're like, oh, that Minotaur got the best of me. Someone will eventually say like, went up against the Minotaur, huh? Yeah, he's pretty tough. You know what I mean? And like, just depending on how your last playthrough was, you'll get things like, it's so cool. But the soundtrack, my God, this soundtrack, I listened to the entire thing the other day just so I could pick out a piece, because I love every single piece of music in this game. And I really, 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 really wanted to go with this one track that actually has a female singer, because her voice is the voice of an angel. It's like hot butter melting on bread. It's gorgeous. But I wanted to save it for another episode. I don't even know. I might just say, Kris, we're doing a Hades episode. Like, I don't care. I love it this much. The soundtrack's so good. So the song I picked was No Escape, and it's just the theme song for the game. And I think it really sets the tone for the whole game. There's it's Greek mythology, but there's a strong Middle Eastern vibe, and I think you'll hear that with the instrument choice and stuff. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to shut up. We're going to play No Escape from Hades, which won a bunch of like Game of the Year awards when it came out on like every system. So, No Escape, Hades, enjoy.
Damn, was that a theremin at the end?
Yep.
That was awesome. Man, I gotta play this game.
I gotta tell you, I was playing it for a couple months straight. I'd say about 2 months straight. And then something else came out. Then I was like, okay, I'll put Hades down for a little while. And I kept seeing it on my list. Play me. And I recently went back to it. It is every bit as fun as it was. Like, I will say this. I love a good button masher. And to some extent, this game, I feel, is like that. And I do burn out a bit. So I go through these kind of like bipolar, energies with this game. I'm like really into it and I'm playing it and I'm like, I still have yet to beat it. Actually, I've yet to escape Hades. So I have something like 45 or 48 playthroughs and I still have actually yet to beat the game. I just can't quite crack the code. And while that's mildly infuriating, it really is just kind of more fuel for me to be like, you get knocked down, you get back up again, because you're never going to keep me down. And I just really appreciate this game. There's so much about it. I could gush about it for hours. Just fun game, fantastic soundtrack. Like, I love this song. This song gives me everything about the game. Like I said, the bit of the Middle Eastern stringy kind of guitar-y vibes. There's the theremin to give it a weird, there's the heavy timpani drums, and then just like the actual just rock drums. When you get to I don't know what you would call it, zone bosses per se. Like, let's say the first level is Tartaros or Tartaros, however you wish to pronounce it. There's a
My
boss.
Neighbor Totoro.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about him. How's he doing? There's a boss fight, and the boss fight music is like 6 minutes long, and it starts low, and it just builds itself up into this like sprawling metal track. Right? Not unlike the Bowser's Fury. You know, I wanted to play one of those, but I was like, it's 6 minutes long, and maybe a little out of context. So, just get out there and play this one, man.
Well, it's been on my wish list for ages now.
I don't know.
I bought Dead Cells already, and I haven't even touched it. So it's like,
I don't know if you're interested, but
okay.
Hades is currently $20 on Amazon.
I think it's $20 on Switch too.
Yeah, for Switch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean,
digital, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have. It is on my wish list, and it goes on sale periodically. And I think I should buy this, but I should probably play Dead Cells first.
Yes.
I have so many other things to get to, you know, and I almost started Dead Cells recently, but
That sounds a lot of fun too.
it's an experience I must have, but I have not had yet because, you know, there are only so many hours in the day. I had to dedicate my game playing this last week or two to Sonic Colors, which was not great.
I'm sorry.
It's a pretty big disappointment for me. I got to review it because I actually asked for it for Christmas, and my sister bought it for me. I was like, "Yay, cool! I can finally play Sonic Colors." Never played it on the Wii, and I always wanted to because I heard it was a really good 3D Sonic game, and it was the most average experience I had ever had.
Wow, that's a shame. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I did finish Secret of Mana.
Yes, you did.
I
Congratulations.
did. I finished Secret of Mana. I really hunkered down. I made that happen. That was a very, very interesting and cool game. I'm really glad I did that. And I am pretty decently into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is another game people have been telling me I need to play for a while now, and I'm making myself go through it, and it's fine.
Okay.
It's not knocking my socks off the way a lot of people told me it would. I just think I have different sensibilities, but it is a very cool game in a lot of parts. But that's a podcast from another podcast. Anyway, it is my turn now, right? We're kind of lost track of the planet right now. All right, so we are going to listen to This Is Such a Wonderful Game that also probably would have gotten way more attention had it not come out right around the same time as Metroid Dread. And that is the brilliant Axiom Verge 2.
Yeah.
This game is really freaking good. It has a very weird and interesting story. The original Axiom Verge was an excellent game, and this one really goes in some very different directions as far as like how it's played and how you navigate certain things, but definitely not a very different way in terms of the fact that it is constantly surprising.
Okay.
This game absolutely rules. I had a hard time picking the song. The music is very atmospheric, except in these kind of like alternate dimensions that make the graphics look a little bit more 8-bit. And I wound up going with one of those tunes because it was probably one of the more recognizable ones that stuck in my head. Really, this whole soundtrack is very, very good. This was just the one that just, okay, this is the one. Every time I think of this game's soundtrack, this is the one that pops into my head. I don't know that it's necessarily the best song in the game, but it was the one that was most memorable to me. It is called I.O. Echo, as in I/O, like an I.O. port, Echo. And it's super cool. So let's give it a listen. Enjoy. one of the things I like so much about that song is that it's very surface level, more traditional video game music than what you had heard in this game previously, but there's still this underlying feeling of unease to the way it's composed and the way it all comes together.
Okay.
Because there is a lot about this game that is rather unnerving. And I really thought that this summed that up really, really well. And it's just a super cool song.
Yeah, I love both games' soundtracks. I have yet to really truly play them, but I've heard a lot of it in passing, and I've been told, like, oh, check these soundtracks out. So I've gone out of my way to listen to them, and I'm very impressed with a lot of what's on those soundtracks. I think it's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it was really a remarkable game, and it took me a little bit of time to kind of beat my head against it in a couple of spots, but boy, it really there were some story things that happened in there that were just very affecting, like more so than I would have expected them to be. Of just like, wow, this is kind of disturbing. And then like by the end of the game, I'm not sure I had a really good grip on what the actual final outcome was or what had really happened, but I knew that I enjoyed it. So
that's such a glowing review. And you think I'm joking. You know what I mean? Like, I hear that and I'm like, all right, ambiguous ending, not really sure where he stands with it. I like that. Let me check this out.
Yeah, no, it's a very good game. I highly recommend both of them. So, all right, you're up, dude. Oh, sorry, that song was by Thomas Happ.
Oh, yeah, we
also designed the whole darn game.
We totally haven't even been giving the credits there.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go back. We did Geothermal Towers was Enrique Martin. Go To Tech was Lena Rain. Bowser's Fury theme is credited to Koji Kondo, Toru Minigishi, Mahito Yokota. Exfiltration by Kris Remo. Sophia J1 is credited to Ippo Yamada, Hirokai Sano, and Aoi Tanaka. No Escape by Darren Korb, IO Echo by Thomas Happ, and what's your next song?
My next song comes from a game that I was told to play after I played the game that will be my final pick of the evening. I went through this weird phase where I found my next game, and I thought it was very sarcastic and very up my alley. And that game was survival based. Go out and craft stuff, survive, get to these points, do these things, get better stuff, survive, get out. So when I finished that game, I was like, I need something more like this. And so if I had read an article or a headline or something that said, this game that you're currently playing, Matt, it was weird. It was like totally written for me. I don't know. This game is exactly like Subnautica, but it has an edge of humor to it. So I said, all right, let me go find Subnautica. Lo and behold, it was on Xbox Pass. I downloaded it, I started playing it. I have a coworker who was like, yeah, man, Subnautica's awesome. I played the hell out of it. I loved it. He keeps currently playing, like he's been playing, I should say, The Long Dark now for a while, and that's another one that I just started back up, I should say. I started it a while ago. Something else came along, grabbed me, and I stopped playing it. But Subnautica is essentially a game, first person, where your whatever giant vessel is hurtling through space, and it crash lands on an alien planet that for all intents and purposes is just ocean. Through exploration, you do find tracts of land and stuff like that. And, there's a whole storyline to it. You have to figure out what happened to the people that came before you, because you come across some early settlements. You use, their stuff to enhance your stuff, blueprints, the whole nine. But essentially the game, I'd say 90 to 95% takes place underwater. So you can only imagine like the kind of soundtrack that you're going to get. There are, like life, there's a lot of inhabitants of the planet that are very ambivalent to you being there. You grab them, you cook them, you eat them. And then there are inhabitants that are not so ambivalent to you being there, and they're actually downright angry that you're there. And they are scary. They are scary AF, as the kids say. So this game's very fluid, no pun intended, where it comes to soundtrack. It has a deep and rich soundtrack. Like, I went listening to it again recently so I could pick something. I love every song on this soundtrack, like, hands down. It doesn't matter. So when I say it doesn't matter, it's part of a thought. You have to explore. You know, you find escape pods that crashed from the big vessel. You have to explore the big vessel. You know, you have to find all kinds of stuff to help you get off this. Your main mission is to get off this planet. So depending on what kind of like biodome you end up at, you'll hear different tunes, right? Depending on, and I use the term loosely, depending on who's in that biodome, you'll hear a different tune. You know what I mean? So this one is called Leviathan. I really don't think I need to tell you, you know, what's happening when this is playing, but in case you're not picking up what I'm putting down, there are several Leviathan class predators in this game. And if you don't know where they are, they will find you very quickly and they will let you know how little they want you around. They are massive. The word Leviathan, like Leviathan class, like that's it. Leviathan class. Okay. If you look up the game's soundtrack, actually, I think you will see a picture of like what they call the Reaper Leviathan. Like, come on, guys, it's called the Reaper Leviathan. Just don't go there. Don't go over there. And when I was playing the game, I was like, there's got to be a way to beat these. And yeah, there are. I was not going to do it though. I was like, no, just get me off this planet. I was like any other, unintended tourist. Get me out of here. Just get me the hell out of here. So, I present you Leviathan from Subnautica. Enjoy.
By?
Oh, by oh hell. By who? I don't have it written down.
Simon Chilinsky.
Thank you. By Simon Chilinsky. And that's it.
All right, here we go.
That's exactly how I thought to say his last name too. I was like, oh, it's Chilinsky. I got this.
All right.
All right. Anyway, Leviathan. Enjoy. I'm going to apologize for it being so short, but let's be honest. When you see that thing, one of two things happens. You either die immediately or you run screaming into the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's very The Matrix. Like,
it's very heavily techno influenced, and I think a lot of the soundtrack has subtones of kind of Texas, because a lot of it is, as I said up front, like you kind of get an idea of what the soundtrack might be like. If I told you it's a game where you spend predominantly 90 to 95% underwater or in underwater bases and you're looking for underwater stuff, you'd be like, yeah, all right, I get an idea. There's a lot of technology involved, you know, like there's fabricators and things like that. You have to build, radiation suits to get near a core, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of get an idea. So but a lot of it's like this down tempo, very synth heavy, sweeping coral, not coral reef, but coral choir passages and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just it's expansive, and I gotta tell you, there's moments in the game where you take you know, let's say your little sub vessel, and you go out and you ping your sonar, and it's pitch black, and you don't get any information back, which means, you know, thousands of meters down there might be some ground. You know what I mean? It's very, if you really play it right, you can really scare the bejeepers out of yourself.
Scare the what?
The bejeepers. I know I'm not saying it right.
I've never heard bejeepers, but I love it.
You are welcome. I know it's scare the
bejesus, I think.
It's a variation on several things, but isn't it like just scare the? Let's see, scare the. Yeah, I guess Why do I keep saying it? I can't even say bejesus. I can't even say it anymore. I always
Bejeepers is way better.
Yeah,
because it's like a cross between bejesus and jeepers.
It's also it's all non-denominational.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Like
yeah,
me.
It's not.
Oh my word.
Oh boy. All right. Well, it's time for my last one, and this just came from some DLC.
Ooh.
We just did an episode on this game pretty recently, but Horizon Chase Turbo got some wonderful DLC this year, based on the F1 racer Ayrton.
Sure.
Ayrton Senna. I've seen this guy's name on like Game Gear games for my whole life, but knowing nothing about F1, okay. That never really left much of an impression on me, but when they added this F1 stuff to Horizon Chase Turbo, one of my favorite games of all time, I had to give it a whirl, and it's great. And Barry Leach threw a handful of new tracks in there too, not race tracks, music tracks.
Oh boy, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think there were 3 new songs that he threw in there for this, and this was probably my favorite of the 3. I don't know, they're all good. Barry Leach just nailed everything about the Horizon Chase Turbo soundtrack. He doesn't stop being awesome. So this is my last pick. It is from the Senna DLC from Horizon Chase Turbo. It is for Monaco. Enjoy. look, a track that ends. No fade outs here, my friends. Oh boy, I love the music in this game. I love Barry Leach's Horizon Chase stuff, and just keep giving me more. I hope that someday they make a proper Horizon Chase Turbo 2. That would just be amazing. And when they do, they had best get Mr. Leach to come and do more music, because holy butts. That's some good stuff.
Holy butts. There's so many jokes in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I'm bopping my head the entire time. It gives me this... There's this feeling about the stuff that he does. There's like the scales that go up and down is a repeating theme in a lot of this music. It kind of calls back to that original Las Vegas track that he did for Top Gear all those years ago. Mm-hmm. And there's something about the sound of that just makes me think about taking turns in this game. Like just trying to race through a turn as fast as I can without crashing into somebody else. The absolute intensity of trying to get every coin that's on a turn in this game.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh my god, I love this game so much. I never finished this DLC either. I gotta get back to it.
I don't think I finished the original, but man, I was hooked. You know, between the soundtrack and it's kind of like really easy, you know, no real brainer. Like, you know, you're not playing Gran Turismo or Forza or something. It made it just such a great game to just pick up and put down and pick up and put down.
It doesn't distract you. One of the things I love about it is it doesn't distract you with reality.
Yes.
Things like Forza and Gran Turismo have this hyper-realistic visuals to them, and the glory and splendor of what you're driving by. This game takes a very simplistic approach to the graphics, which makes the game run silky smooth, and it puts your focus entirely on the race. And there's no getting distracted by the scenery in this game. Very little. And not to say that the scenery's bad. It's all very nice. But it's like it only takes you a split second to appreciate said scenery. And that's all you have because you have to get back to the race. Like anytime I play a modern racing game that's absolutely stunningly gorgeous, I feel like I'm missing so much as it's all going by me. And because I'm never looking at it, I'm looking at the road. Yeah. And I never got that feeling from this. There's nothing to distract you from just pure racing goodness.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I mean, and that's that's like the not the wonder, but I think that's the beauty of this game is like it's just pure racing. You know, just get in front, like pole position. You know what I mean? Just get in front of the guy in front of you and keep getting there until you get first place.
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful experience. Love this music, and that's it. That's all I've got, except for the one we're going to play over the credits, which is hilarious. But you go, sir. Go ahead and take us out. Take us home.
So I designed my picks and layout in a way that I thought would make sense, just kind of to you know, have a flow through the show. I intentionally put this track last because it cracks me up to like no end. So the game that got me playing Subnautica was called Breath Edge, and that's what this track is from. Breath Edge is the same thing. You're hurtling through space in a giant vessel, and it is destroyed somehow. And now you are in a spacesuit in space attempting to survive. But this game is so sarcastic and so, like, intelligently Mel Brooks. So one of the things that really grabbed me about this game was there is in your suit is AI, and it helps you along the way, but it gives you like the most asinine facts. You know, it tells you like your percentages of dying, and you know, it tells you, you know, it gives you all kinds of stuff that just make you like crack a smile or a sarcastic smile or just like shake your head. And you get all these incoming messages from this character that your suit names Babe, B-A-B-E, right? And it has a picture. And the picture is just, you know, look, most of us are adults here. It's a pair of women's boobs and cleavage in a bikini. And there's a voice that reads it to you, and it's very electronic, but somehow has a Russian accent. So it feels like it's a Russian scammer in space. And it just, and then between that and like how you make weapons, you use duct tape. You know what I mean? Like you get a wrench, and it's like, I'm gonna make a super wrench. So then you duct tape like a battery to it, and now it's super wrench. You know what I mean? One of the funniest jokes in the game, in my opinion, is there's some kind of cardboard cutout for a Walker Texas Ranger like character in Chuck Norris, and you find it and you take it, and then you go to the workbench, and it's like you can make a super wrench, right? Let's say it's a super wrench. You essentially tape that piece of cardboard cutout to the wrench, and now you have infinite uses. So the game itself kind of has some ambient music. It's not a lot, but there's some. But I found out later. Well, I didn't find out that there's a radio in the game because like it's playing on certain ships. I found out later that you could change quote unquote station. And this is one of the songs that plays. It's called Panama Hat by Jason Shaw, who does a bunch of the music for the game. There's also like actual like recording artist music in the game too, which is also fantastic. But this song cracks me up because of the theme of the game and like the tongue-in-cheek humor of the game and like the real sarcastic nature of the game. There's an achievement. I gotta say this. There's an achievement, right? You get on a ship and there's a bunch of trees inside the ship. Someone's recreated like a forest or something. And when you touch a tree, the suit says something like, "Oh yes, you know, it's been a while since you've seen a tree, and these are trees, and they're fantastic, and they create oxygen. We don't have to wear a mask in here." And then you touch another one, and another one, and another one. And eventually you have to touch like 40 of them. And the achievement pops, and the suit goes, "Really? We're doing this? You're touching all these trees? You must really want an achievement." Or something to that nature. So that's the sarcastic nature of the game. Anyway, this song is called Panama Hat. It's by Jason Shaw. It's from Breath Edge. Just sit back and enjoy this.
Perfection. That was marvelous.
It really, really is. I loved that game so much. I was so upset when it finished. But then to find, like, don't get me wrong, I love the mechanics of the game, but it was really the humor of the game. I wanted that game to go on for like ever. I didn't want it to stop. Like there's the way the game ends, it leaves it open, to potentially returning as the character, perhaps. Well, depending on what happens exactly next, but I really hope there's like a second one, or I might just wait like an entire year, forget about the game entirely, and then play it all over again. It was just so much fun. I was laughing. Like, it's rare for me to laugh out loud at a video game. I was laughing out loud a lot at this one.
All right, Breath Edge. I'm going to tack that one onto my list. I just finished Monkey Island 2 for the first time yesterday. So
Nice.
that game made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, it's another series that's hilarious.
I've we've talked about this before. I played the first one my entire life. It's one of the most important games I've ever played in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never played any of the sequels. So I finally finished Monkey Island 2. I don't know what to make of the ending, but I thought the rest of the game was spectacular. So I like a good comedy game as much as the next guy. But that's gonna wrap it up for us, I think. Right? We're all good here.
That's it.
Yeah. That was such a wonderful way to end the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
that was just perfect. It was just, I'm just imagining the guy singing it like during the recording session, you know?
Yep.
Like, that must have been so much fun.
it has like a Jim Henson, Muppets vibe to it.
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah. Love it. Love it all. Okay, guys, that is it. That was the 2021 WaveBack Awards. Those were our favorite songs that Matt and I listened to this year, and that was a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Yep.
Join us next time when we're going to be starting a short trek into familiar territory. Matt and I will be spending the next few episodes revisiting games that I covered way back before Matt was a part of the show, starting all the way back with Episode 2, Mega Man X. I didn't do this game's original soundtrack justice back when I recorded the first time, so we're going to give it its due this time. Right?
Yes, so I love Mega Man X. I thought Mega Man X was such a fantastic game.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorites of all time,
Yeah.
and I don't like any of the sequels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like them. I tried. I have tried the Mega Man X series. I have put the work in. I have finished 2. I got a lot of the way through 3, and I just don't like them. But I love Mega Man X. It is one of the most perfect games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Just spectacular. Anyway, I still have to get through 4, 5, 6, and 7 one of these, and 8, I guess, one of these days. And I don't have high hopes, but I don't know. People seem to like 4 an awful lot. We'll see if that one sticks with me. But anyways, here at the WaveBack Podcast are incredibly grateful to everyone who listens, and we love communicating with you when we can. We have a couple of ways you can do that. There's the Geekade Discord channel, in which we have a WaveBack chat where we frequently discuss all manner of things relating to video game music and whatever our next episodes are going to be. We also have a WaveBack forum page on Facebook, which I rarely check anymore, so I'm sorry, but if you can find it by searching WaveBack on Facebook. Of course, you can always still send us an email at mail@geekade.com, and while you're at it, check out all our social media channels, which you should totally follow, like, and subscribe to if you haven't already, and be sure to check out all the other great content we have on our site over at geekade.com. Mr. Matt,
Yes, sir.
I know you have something to promote, but this episode's not going live until after that's over. However, it's the kind of thing that's going to happen more than once, right?
Yes, sir. It absolutely will.
So talk to us.
Let's
regale us with tales.
Regale us with tales. So I have let's see. I have an alter ego. When I'm not doing this, I'm being an old curmudgeonly video gamer. I know, right? It's so hard to believe. And through our Geekade's own Vest Lord, he has concocted a very interesting platform for playing video games in which we have essentially rolled in our love of wrestling. So anything that we can really tie wrestling to, we're going to do it. It's called the ECC Electronic Coliseum Championship. And you can find it on Twitter, and he promotes it when he's doing his Best and Friends, streaming and such. As of recording today on a Thursday, this Saturday, 2 days from now, there is going to be a 4-way challenge for a shiny little cup trophy thing that, Dean and I, our characters were fighting for way back at the Bash at the Bits. We would challenge each other to video games we both never played, and, whoever got further or scored, wow, that was an interesting flub, scored higher, would take the cup, and then the loser would challenge the next game and so forth. So this time around, we're doing a 4-way dance playing Uno on Steam, and we will stream it. And the intention is that it's going to be once a month, and we're going to be in character. So M the Mercenary was born, and I will be attempting to maintain my cup. So, wait, that sounds weird. No, you know what? Let it rock. I'm attempting to maintain my cup. So, once a month you'll see at the ECC, Vest and his, stable of quote-unquote video gaming wrestlers, going for something, and it's going to be a lot of trash talk. It's a bunch of friends. It's a lot of fun. But it should be very interesting, to say the very least.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch it live. I think it's during the day, right? So
yes, it's 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard.
I sincerely doubt it's going to be child friendly, so I won't be able to catch it live, but I'm going to try and catch at least some of it whenever I can. I've been promoted. I promoted it in the most recent Stone Age Gamer. A newsletter. There we go. So I'm in full support of this project. I'm excited to see it work out for you.
And we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and say that I have started the Stone Age Gamer TikTok.
You know what? I've been following. And Kris, I love you. I think you're the best. And you trying to navigate TikTok is almost more interesting than the stuff that you're putting out. I mean that with absolute love.
I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not understanding why some things are getting more views than others, and I can't really say I care. I'm just doing the stupidest stuff I can think of that I think is funny, and if it makes me chuckle, then I'm posting it.
Boom.
And that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, man. TikTok's interesting. I just got on it too, and I'm like, oh man, okay, who's the old guy? Oh, it's me.
The idea is to just do brand awareness, right? Because we're not really trying to sell products on there specifically. It's just like, here's our name, Stone Age Gamer. So when you think about old video games, you think about our old asses.
Brilliant. I mean, you can't, it's so honest. You know what I mean? It's just so honest and organic that it's like, yeah, man, I get it.
The current thing that I'm trying to focus on doing a couple times a week is what I'm calling Totally True Stone Age Facts.
Okay.
And it's an homage to Syphil and Ollie's Rock Facts.
Ah.
Where it's just complete lies presented as facts.
That's fantastic.
So, enjoy that. Anyway.
I do. Trust me. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
All right, so we're going to leave you with probably the song that was stuck in my head the loudest, more than any other song this year. And the same with everybody else in this house. Everyone in this house was singing this song nonstop for at least a week. This is the Cruisin' Blast theme song. A wonderful racing game called Cruisin' Blast was in arcades for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
It finally got a home conversion for the Nintendo Switch earlier this year, and it was a masterpiece. It is a wonderful, wonderful game that's extremely light on content. It burns so very bright, just not for very long. But that's fine, because not everything has to last you the rest of your life. Not everything has to be a giant thing that you are constantly playing. It's wonderful to go back to from time to time. It's just stupid arcade racing fun. It's the opposite side of the Horizon Chase Turbo coin.
Yes.
It's just as wonderful for very different reasons. The theme song is, I don't know if you remember the old Cruisin' USA music.
Sure.
From, back in the old days.
Absolutely.
It's a very similar kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The woman just singing the word cruising an awful lot, and some dude with a real deep voice going, "Oh yeah,
yeah, buddy."
This song is pure unadulterated magic, and it's definitely one of my favorite songs of the year. So enjoy it, and thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time for Mega Man X.